Hi, welcome to Thought Egg. I am Layla, and today's guest is
Ryan Pedigo.
And today's discussion of topic is going to be the justification of cannibalism. So Ryan, what is your thought on cannibalism?
Well, it's not a healthy habit, that's for sure. It can lead to humans, if you eat yourself or anything that has a similar cell makeup, it can make your cells go insane.
Really?
Yes, and you can get like mental illnesses from eating like human brains or like human meat. You can get addicted to it.
Like heroin?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why cannibal tribes still do it, because they're all like messed up in the brain from like generations of just eating humans. And it's just like, oh, that's not very good.
Well, do you think that cannibalism is morally wrong?
Morally wrong, yes.
Why?
It's another human being, and we've just grown up to know.
We eat animals. We eat chickens and cows and horses. Why can't we eat animals like other animals, like humans? We're mammals, right?
Yes, but do you see a wolf eating other wolves?
Yes.
I mean, besides other packs.
No.
Like when they're in their own pack?
No, I guess not. I've never seen a wolf in the wild.
Then we wouldn't eat our own pack, which is our humans in our country.
But here's the thing: a lot of mammal that give actual birth, and even sea life that give birth, eat their own children.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
So why can't a human mother eat her baby? Because we can eat the placenta, and it's actually very healthy for you.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is. Have you seen Kim Kardashian eat it? It's great.
What?
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian ate a placenta.
Or I think Kourtney Kardashian. I don't know. They're all the same to me.
How do they get away with all of that stuff?
It's legal.
Legal?
Yes.
Oh, God.
But you have to get papers. I don't know how the whole thing works. I've never eaten my own placenta. But why can't I eat my own human baby? If it's too much and I just... Well, a lot of people would say, well, Layla, we have brains.
Well...
Hello, Squeaky.
Morally, throughout generations, we've known it to be wrong, but if you have that mindset that it's okay, then it's okay. But most people, they would think of that as, oh God, that's terrible. Yeah. Because probably throughout most of their life, if they've heard cannibalism, it's been associated with evil. And most people don't like evil unless they're like a little bit off, you know? Like Satanism.
Satanism?
Those are the evil people.
Do you even understand what Satanism is?
Just people like Satan.
No.
They're like, yeah, go Satan.
No.
Go Satan.
Christianity isn't just people worshiping a guy named Christian.
No.
No, Satanism, they don't necessarily worship Satan.
Yeah.
It's all about self. We're not even going to, that's off topic, we're not even going to talk about that. Back on topic.
Yeah.
So, do you know how much flesh you've eaten in your entire life?
A lot. I'd say I'm a big meat eater. It's one of my favorite things. I prefer it over vegetables a lot. But vegetables are still pretty good. But flesh, anything that had a mother is always tastier. It's true.
When I meant by the question, I meant is skin cells come off, and hair leave our bodies. You know how many farts you breathe in every day just walking into a room? Probably dozens. So imagine how many pounds of flesh we eat in our whole lifetimes. But you would.
Oh boy, eating, because dust, that's all.
It's all human.
Yeah, it's all just skin. Ugh. And you're breathing that in. Your lungs are like, oh, we're getting fueled by that human skin cells. Not very good.
I'm laughing so much because he makes these weird faces. So
yeah,
we might have an episode.
Too bad they can't see it.
I might actually bring a camera in next episode. Next time I invite you in.
Yes.
Do you think our society would be as far as it is now if cannibalism was as normal as taking your shoes off?
No.
Why?
Because it doesn't do good on your brain.
But so does a lot of things, like eating GMOs and pesticides.
Yeah.
There can also be benefits in eating humans.
Oh,
Blood?
blood? I mean, yeah.
Blood?
Blood.
Okay, well, I keep saying I'm sorry.
It's fine.
How do we advance as a society without immoral? Obviously, there has to be immoral for us to recognize so that we can evolve as a human race and human species and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we see something as animalistic and as natural as cannibalism? Because chickens eat other chickens. Yeah, cows eat other cows sometimes. I mean, they don't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Mad cow disease, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Pigs can eat other pigs. Pigs are indestructible. They'll eat anything.
They'll eat anything.
Oh my goodness! Why do you think so many? I wonder how many murders have gotten away with
A
just
lot
them.
of the mafia. That was like their. That's a really cool way to get rid of bodies.
And imagine how many pigs we've eaten that have eaten other humans.
Ooh, I don't think we do because, well, not recently. Before it was probably more likely because they don't test it. They didn't test it. But now with all of the safety regulations and the CDC, they definitely test all of the meat before it's shipped out.
How do you define cannibalism?
Eating human meat.
So it's not just eating something from another species. Like, how do you think? How much saliva do you think you've ingested from another person?
I can eat from another person?
No, how much saliva, like spit, you've eaten from another person?
I've eaten, like, just from, like,
No, not necessarily. Like waiters spitting in your food, like stuff like that.
Well, I'm not rude, but I'm sure
know.
people have eaten spit a lot. And, I mean, it's not cool, but I'm sure people have.
Do you not define that as cannibalism? Because you're eating something. You're ingesting something from another human.
It could technically be associated with cannibalism.
I guess it's accidental cannibalism.
Yes,
It's not intentional.
Yeah. Did you know the CDC allows only 1%, or I think it was maybe less than 1% of human meat to go by in some meats? Like, you can actually get just a little bit of human meat.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
And like
But
you said
it's
earlier,
there.
if the CDC regulates that much, like if it lets that little bit slide,
Yeah.
you never
You've
know.
eaten it.
Would you ever eat human meat?
Well, if I was taken to the point where I had to consume human meat.
That wasn't the question. The question was, would you?
Would I?
Yes. If even it was just one
generally,
time.
I would take it against my morals
Mm-hmm.
because that's just messed up. But definitely, if the situation calls for it, I probably would.
Like a human burger?
Oh, that'd probably be.
I mean, depending, how do you think, because you know, like in steaks, do you like fat on your steak?
No.
I love it. It's delicious.
It's good, but like whenever you get that like big chunky pieces on the outside, and when it's like rubbery.
Yes, I love it.
I like it like just mixed in.
So you like sirloin, like usually, not like straight ribeye. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. It's an acquired taste, like oysters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I keep saying
You're just like Obama. He said a lot. Oh God.
Obama. What was I gonna ask you? So I was asking me about steaks.
It was about the fat on the steaks.
Oh yes, fat on the steaks. Thank you. I
Yes.
was about to pause it. Do you think humans have an acquired taste depending on who they are?
Ooh.
Like, do you think
based
I
on
like
their
fat.
diet?
Maybe, because you know, grass-fed cows and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely an acquired taste. Some human meat could probably, actually, a lot of human meat in America probably taste really like shit.
Oh, like really fatty.
And just disgusting and not well taken care of.
But like a native from the mountains.
Yeah,
That like bathes in water.
And they get like minerals from like the spring from the mountain.
Yes, and it's like
they probably have really good tasting meat.
Yeah, if you put that on a grill for like 15 minutes, put some A1 sauce, and they probably even couldn't tell the difference. Probably is like a delicacy. And back to what you said about tribals.
Yeah.
And how I've seen a lot of documentaries about tribes and how it's a tradition. Like in Kenya, eating the heart of your enemy is still considered like
very
like
manly
a trophy.
thing? Yeah.
Like oh, so you don't eat the heart of your enemies?
What are you, a pussy?
Yeah. Oh my god, if I say one more time. How do you think that compares to America's standards? You know, like in considerably third world countries, they eat other humans. But we don't. But we consider them savages, right?
Yes.
But isn't it really just survival of the fittest?
If they don't have to eat the human meat, then it's not. But if they have to, then it's survival of the fittest. If they've got animals out in the pasture,
and they're just
eating Steve, oh fuck, dude, they're messed up already. They've had a little bit too much human brain.
Little bit too much.
A little bit too much of that Slurpee.
Have you ever had cow brain or cow tongue?
I haven't.
Whenever I was in daycare, we had like this gross eating contest thing, and there was this cow brain and cow tongue, and I remember liking it.
I'm sure tongues taste weird. It's tough, probably.
If you chew on your own tongue.
Yeah, it's kind of thick.
It's a little thick.
It's probably like jerky.
Yeah, it's very much like wet jerky.
Yeah.
But it tastes like, because it was just raw tongue, it tasted like the way a tabletop tastes, if that makes sense.
A tabletop? Like just a mixture of dirty things?
Yes, and it tastes like my own tongue, kind of, and I was very confused. But I liked it.
It's probably...
I feel like if you dip into... Have you ever had peanut sauce?
Sauce?
Asian peanut sauce. It's a delicacy. It's very yummy. You would like it.
That sounds crazy. I want it.
It's very delicious. So, comparing animal meat to human meat.
Yeah.
We obviously, like, all of our lives, like, you enjoy a good steak. You enjoy a good sloppy Joe.
Like, the New York cut steak.
New York strip?
New York strip is pretty good.
I think that, again, is an acquired fancy taste. I'm more, like, primal, like,
yeah. Angus beef is really good.
Angus beef is delicious. Oh, God, I don't know what's about it.
Have you ever had bison in general?
I've had bison meatballs.
Bison is so good.
I
went to Walmart the other day and I got these bison patties that were pre-made, and oh my God.
It was yummy.
My mom told me it was different from beef, but I thought it would just be like worse.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like way better.
I bet.
We're off topic.
No, we're not, because we're discussing meat.
Meat.
Cannibalism is human meat.
Alrighty.
We're staying on topic, but subtopic.
Yeah,
is what
okay.
There's like this shoulder, like this Japanese. It's wagyu meat.
Wagyu.
Okay? Yes.
Yeah.
I had it for some Mesquite Grill, and
Really?
it was $43. Because my grandpa had ordered it, and he didn't ask for the market price. When I tell you, Ryan, it was the most delicious piece of meat I ever had. But in the back of my mind, I thought, there's like a 0.% chance that this is human meat.
Really?
What if human meat
was wagyu?
I'm not saying it's wagyu. It's like cow shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
What if it was as delicious as a New York strip?
Oh boy. I feel like the appeal would have been way more back then if it was that delicious.
If it's that good, I mean, I read a lot about serial killers. I would say, like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't like the taste of blood.
Yeah.
She thought it would taste like pennies, have you ever tasted blood? It tastes like pennies.
It does. Because of the iron.
Because of the iron. Does that mean? No, iron's not made of blood.
No. Blood is made of a little bit of iron.
From what?
Minerals that you get.
Okay. But there's this one, he says, like, these Japanese cannibalistic serial killer, and he would eat, like, usually European women, because he said European women taste better than Asian women. And I thought, that's just absurd. He had, like, 2 different types of race of women and decided this one's better. That's racist. It's racist, Ryan. Asian women taste just as good as white women.
Are you sure about that, though?
No. But I remember remember watching a documentary about him. I could say, like,
yeah,
that the thigh, like the back of the thigh, was the best part of the whole person. Like, and he said he took a bite, like just a straight chunk bite out of the girl's butt, and it was okay. It just wasn't very yummy.
It's probably really fatty.
Probably. But
because of that extra layer.
Just the idea of just the idea of normal it could be to just slice like the back of a thigh of a person and eat it like it was dinner.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that? Why can't we open our minds to cannibalism, Ryan?
It's like the forbidden delicacy.
The forbidden hamburger.
The forbidden fruit. Everything that tells me that I shouldn't eat human meat is all about morals.
Yes.
If we hadn't been brought up with the same morals, if we would have been brought up in that cannibal society,
it would be normal.
We would have thought human meat was delicious and that it was normal.
Exactly.
But since we grew up here in America, where cannibalism is definitely very illegal,
yes,
and is like considered very wrong,
very taboo, yes.
Yeah, then definitely we just have an imprint on our brain that we can't do that.
Just can't.
We just can't. Like, shit. I was gonna do some sort of example with like a red light, but then I was just like, nope, that's stupid. I'm not gonna do that. So next question.
Well, thank you for telling us that. Would you think that different races of humans would taste different? Because there's like Angus, and then there are like Japanese bull, whatever. Do you think different races or nationalities? Because like we said earlier, like an American steak would probably taste very different.
Yeah.
From a native, not like Native American, like native mountains.
I'm thinking
Like
French would be pretty good.
You know what? That's a very good ideology because they drink a lot of wine.
Yeah. And that would just tenderize.
It would marinate it from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't get animals that drink wine.
No,
so we don't know what would happen.
Okay, we're gonna do a practice. Okay. It's this meditation I've been starting to do. Mm-hmm. So like lay your arms out and we're gonna taste human meat, or we're gonna try to, because I saw this on YouTube.
Okay.
And you just sense the inside of your hand. Like lay your hands down. And sense the inside of your hand. Tell me when you feel it. It's going to be kind of numb and a little bit warm.
Okay.
Now taste it.
I've got it.
Do you taste it? Like suck in your tongue a little bit, like. My mouth tastes like cigarettes.
I can't get over the fact that I've always heard that human meat tastes like chicken.
Where did that come from? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I was trying to do a serious thing.
I feel like human meat would just be like chicken.
Because you're very right, though. Because if you think about it, like I had asked earlier, the different races of humans, like different species of animals, like beef tastes very different from chicken because of like the straight muscles. You know how you can just like peel chicken off?
Yeah.
You can't do that necessarily with beef or pork.
We just have to look at the muscle structure of humans.
Yes.
And compare it to animals and see. Oh, that would.
I should have brought a diagram.
You know what? We could just eat a monkey.
What?
It's similar. It probably tastes like human meat.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, I guess like very rich people.
Yeah, I mean, you can't eat monkey brains because that also makes you go insane.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, a lot just brains in general. They're not.
I want to eat a human brain. I want to try.
Sure it's stringy.
Oh, I bet.
Like string cheese.
Whenever I first imagined it, I thought like like the little the squiggles. You could just pull it off like string cheese.
You know, like the scene from Hannibal where he cuts open
his
head and he takes it out.
Each part, and the guy's still alive.
And he's like,
too.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Exactly, Hannibal. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of earlier. Hannibal was so open-minded to the idea of cannibalism.
Yeah.
He lived it, and if you remember from the movie and from the show too, also can I just give credit, Hannibal, beautiful cinematography, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Totally recommend it to anyone listening. He cooked it so perfectly, and you would think, like the way he just slapped it down, I think like it's just a regular piece of meat. And he served it to people, and they loved it. Yeah. They loved it.
Yeah.
So
he served it to whole parties.
And exactly, and I'm just saying, obviously, movies and cinemas are different from humans, not like real life. But there's been many cases of people cooking human meat and serving it to people, and them just not noticing until they like have been told that. So that just proves our theory that we don't taste that much different
than the regular old animals that we eat every day.
Exactly. Has this changed your perspective at all in cannibalism?
Still wouldn't do it.
No.
Because, like, I don't want my cells to be like, why are we digesting the same thing that's so similar to us? Why? I don't want to digest myself.
I mean, that's what our body does when we start to die. We digest ourselves.
Or like extra fat. We digest that because it's just stored, and we're just like,
Exactly. And I went to like the library the other day, and I was looking for a human anatomy book specifically for this episode, and they didn't have any, so I went and just like looked it up on the internet, and our like meat labels, if that makes sense, are so similar to like, you see those pictures of cows and like pigs and how they're labeled like, oh, this is like this thigh.
And like it's got all the sections and it's like
that looks just like that to me. I don't know. There's always like these not necessarily urban legends, but these ideas, conspiracies that very rich people eat the meat of children, or like like Pizzagate. I don't know if we can discuss that, but
probably not.
Oh, probably not. No.
The government's like,
you're probably right.
Same thing with what you said earlier about killing the president. Can't talk about that. It's just like.
Welcome back. We're having technical difficulties. This is Layla James again. And the time is 5:08. So, Ryan, what are your ideologies on murder?
Unless it's for a good reason, you shouldn't do it.
Well, that also falls back onto
the
our
morals.
Very first world society of how we can't eat other people and we can't murder other people because it's morally wrong. But murder happens every single day, whether we like it or not.
Yeah. In
every part of the country. So why can't you, as a free American citizen, murder people? Give me an actual reason, or did you say mortal bad?
Personally, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. I could probably do it very easily, as long as like I had a very good reason, and it's not just like I just want to kill somebody, because then at that point there's something wrong with me. But if I had a very good reason to murder someone, like they had stolen from me, hurt someone that I know, killed someone, for like revenge or anything,
Like your dog.
Yeah, like a John Wick moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, then definitely.
But why is it just dumbed down to only if it's needed? 'Cause why is it that we...
It's because we don't want to take the chance of going to prison for the rest of our lives.
Exactly, but why do we, as an American society, American government, forbid murder? That's what the question is.
Because...
Not just because we go to jail.
In American government,
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, at least, the morals of the people count more than political things that would do better for the country. Or no,
but at the start of the government, people murdered each other all the time.
Oh yeah, because there was no law. It was shit. It
was just the law.
It's the law, boy. But it was like old Western. Everyone was shooting each other because someone stepped on someone's shoe.
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson fucking dueled everyone.
He was crazy.
He was crazy as fuck, dude.
I'm glad you know about that. Because literally, like the guy that tried to assassinate him, he beat with a cane.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, tries to shoot Andrew Jackson with his flintlock pistol. Stops. It jams.
Yeah.
Pulls out a second one, jams. Anderson comes over with his hickory cane, beats the fuck out of him, and his security had to pull him off so he didn't kill the man. And regularly, he would have duels outside of the White House with people.
Duel anyone.
Yeah.
Women, children, he didn't care.
Mm-hmm. He fucking killed them.
He just do it for fun.
And then he was like,
and he got away with it.
Mm-hmm. Because he was the president.
And here's the thing. Back then, we were all they were Christians and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it wasn't okay to be gay, but it was okay to duel someone because they said, yo mama fat.
Yeah. Your mama's so stupid.
But
no, Brock, don't do it to me.
If they had the same morals as we do, but they still murdered like he was going to the grocery store, why can't we do that? And just to clarify, I'm not arguing for murder. I'm not arguing for it at all. I'm just giving perspective.
Well, nothing is really stopping us. I mean, we could just, I don't know, if I wanted to, I could walk out there and probably fucking try and murder someone.
Yeah.
Would it work? Probably not. But nothing's stopping me.
No, I'm not stopping you.
If your morals, if you don't care about that, go for it. But I'm not saying you should, but...
He's not condoning or demonizing it.
Yes. It's just, I'm saying nothing's stopping you. It's just, you're probably going to go to jail.
No, prison. It's murder. You don't go to jail for murder.
I always get those mixed up.
Yeah, you go to the big boy.
Big boy prison, or no, federal prison.
Federal prison.
Because manslaughter. And it's either you get killed for murder.
Lethal injection.
Or,
isn't that funny how they get murdered for murdering? But the ones that are murdering the murderer are murdering him?
Yeah.
They're murderers
too. It's quite the system.
It's glorious.
Yes,
I had this
beautiful
conversation with Ethan in the last episode, and it was
how fucked up our prison system.
Yeah, but that's not the topic.
Yeah.
So, in last words for this topic.
Yes.
Murder
bad. Nothing's stopping you from doing it.
But do it at risk.
Do it at risk of you're probably going to get caught.
And going to the federal
unless you have a very good, thought out plan.
Unless you're a mastermind.
What?
A mastermind.
Yeah.
I wonder how many murderers have gone
unnoticed.
Quite
a lot, actually.
Exactly.
It's just the stupid ones
that get caught. It's always, like I said this earlier, it's just all the time. There's so many serial killers. The reason they get caught is because they want their name to be out there.
Yeah. It's just like if you want to murder somebody, you don't want it to be like you get remembered. You want it to be like they're fucking dead and I did my job.
Exactly, but here's the thing. the cops give them some sort of nickname, like the Golden State Killer or like the little boy, like the Wisconsin
Zodiac.
The Zodiac, yes. And everyone wanted to claim that because they were so famous.
Yeah.
But why would you want to get named for that? And also, I can also kind of understand why they want to get named for that. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone is
They would be remembered very, very well.
I remember the Zodiac.
Yeah,
I didn't know the
everyone
guy.
does. There's a movie about him.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
And we still don't know
you get
who he is.
movies made after you. Shit, dude.
And we still don't know who he is. I wonder if he's still alive and watches those movies.
Dude, imagine being the murderer Zodiac and just watching the Zodiac movie with Robert Downey Jr.
And being like, that's not what happened.
This is what really happened.
They got that wrong. I didn't kill that girl. I killed that one.
I'm going to pull an O.J. Simpson, and I'm going to write a book if I did it.
I talked about this the other day. O.J. Simpson got away with murder over the stupidest thing, saying the glove didn't fit, and he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
And it's just like, that glove was leather, and leather can shrink.
Over water.
Yeah.
Anyway, now the topic is recreational drugs.
Yes.
What is your opinion on recreational drugs?
I feel that it should be looked into more than it is right now.
Of course.
I think before we fully legalize marijuana, definitely in those states where we already have it legalized, we should definitely get a stock down before we end up like Canada and legalizing it everywhere, and we're just running out of stock. But we've got Florida, dude.
Canada's out of weed.
Canada is cold. You can't grow weed there. We've got Florida. It's hot and dank there already. We can grow weed in Florida so easily. We can just make a fucking jungle out of weed.
We could.
We could. Weed is a very good recreational drug.
Why do you think that marijuana and LSD and acid are so
LSD
demonized?
And acid are the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then shrooms.
Yeah, shrooms is recreational.
You had to correct me.
Shrooms is recreational in Denver, Colorado, in like small samples, and it actually works. It helps people.
Of course, but why do you think it's demonized?
Because people in the 60s, they used very high dosages on people who they were trying to interrogate or test it on, that they would be fucked up, and they would have PTSD, or like they would go into a state where they never come out of tripping, which can happen.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, you can just not stop. If you have schizophrenia,
oh my,
it gets way fucking worse.
Really?
But that's why it's like it should be tested more, because it's got like lethal. Well, not lethal, more like dangers that should be looked into.
Anything can be lethal, Ryan.
Yeah, marijuana can be lethal if you smoke your body weight in 8 minutes.
I think it's going to be very hard to do, Ryan.
It is very hard, and that's why no one's died from marijuana.
Exactly, but you didn't answer the question.
Oh, what, I didn't?
Why? Well, that is actually a very good reason why it should be not, but it's not the answer why it's demonized.
Yeah. Oh, demonized. Because
old people don't want to have fun.
It started with marijuana in the early 1900s, whenever they were testing it on chimpanzees, and they would put gas masks on the chimpanzees, and they criminalized it because it gave them brain damage, but that's only because they only sent in marijuana smoke, no oxygen. It gave them brain damage because they didn't get any oxygen.
Well, of course, it's going to give you brain damage if you just hotbox a monkey.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But another reason was because they were actually looking for something to criminalize during that time, because marijuana was taking over some like medicines that big companies wanted to sell and make money off of.
Of course.
So they put in fake research that would
They
like
just
fuck it
flip it
over, and so it got criminalized. And then what Reagan did really fucked over any chances.
Oh, Reagan did that to everything, like the whole gold thing, but we're not going to get into that right now because that's not our topic.
But it got demonized because it was seen as something that would destroy a person, would make them lesser than normal. So, and people were afraid of that. They were like, oh, well, I can't do that or else I won't be normal anymore. I won't be seen in society the same anymore. I will be treated differently. So this is evil. It does bad. It shouldn't be here. Let's get rid of it. And same thing happened with acid. It got criminalized because people were saying bad trips. They happen. Woo! And it's just like, really, bad trips aren't that bad. Sometimes they're what you need.
Yeah.
It really, like with Mike Tyson, he stopped boxing because he took, what was it? It was DMT or peyote or something. And he smoked it and he had an ego death.
Oh, I heard those are like...
They're terrible.
Like you die and you come back and it's like your spirit dies or something, and like you look at yourself and you're like, man, I hate myself.
Ray, a guy I know, he had an ego death, and he had taken 3 tabs of acid, and I can tell you from the experience from him, first person, he would black in and out, but like he would still be conscious.
Yeah.
You know, whenever he blacked out. But the only reason he blacked out was because what he saw traumatized his brain, so it forgot it.
Oh, yeah.
And it really opened his mind after that.
Yeah.
But it didn't scare him away from acid.
And that's the thing.
He kept doing it. But it never affected him negatively. You could see it as a positive. But, you know, as long as you take acid responsibly, you won't get PTSD. As long as you have a clear mind, as long as you don't have schizophrenia, you should be okay.
And that's the thing, that's what people don't understand. Like, oh, well, if you put regulations on this, you can put regulations on anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Breathing can be lethal, literally.
Yes.
Water can be lethal. Anything that you need to to live can be lethal at a high amount of dosages.
At 80 hits of acid, you have a seizure.
Yeah.
And after that point, it's not cool.
It's not cool anymore.
That's why you want to stay under 80 hits. Above, like...
Can you explain what a hit is?
A hit? Think of it as a tab.
Yeah, okay.
A singular tab of acid.
So 80 tabs of acid. We'll do that to you.
80 tabs of acid.
Okay. So I just want to say that.
Yes. You could, you know those droplets? You have these glass containers and you can unscrew it and you have the dropper. And you can like squeeze it and it goes up in there.
Yeah.
1 drop. That's a hit of acid.
That's like a baster?
A baster. That like 1 little drip from a baster, that's a hit of acid, and you'll be tripping for 8 hours.
You heard that here, folks?
You can trip for fucking ages on acid. If you take enough, you can probably trip for 3 days. Or like a week.
Have you ever tripped for a week?
No. That'd be fucking wild. I don't think I could survive because, you know, you have to hide it from figures that you would not want to know you do acid because it's illegal and they would look down upon you. But, you know, if I had the chance, I definitely... No, wait a minute, no. It'd just become torture after a week because you'd just be like, I want to stop tripping. I want to go back to normal life.
Do you know how to untrip?
Untrip? Go to sleep.
You said that so matter-of-factly.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
I'm
though.
being dead ass. If you're having a bad trip and you don't want to see it anymore, go to sleep. I mean, sure, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to lay in bed and you're probably not going to go to sleep. You're going to stay there and you're going to see shit. But if you're laying in bed and you get tight and you feel safe, all of the fear and the just emotion that you get from the bad trip usually goes away. But the mood that you got from the bad trip stays with the trip for the rest of that time. And the thing with acid, it imprints on your mind. So let's say you take acid and before it you're like feeling pretty good, but then you go into it and you get like this sort of mood on acid, and it's like a very specific like feeling that you got from that acid, or like a smell, a sight or something. You could go like a month and still feel that way. It could be like a year later and you could smell it again and you'd know what it was. It could be fucking 40 years later and you could start tripping again. Like, honestly, it happens. It can become dormant and it can just come up later, and you can just, it's called an acid flashback. And you see or like remember or smell or feel the same ways you did when you were on acid. I've experienced it. It's very interesting. Was I not supposed to say that?
No, you can say that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You're not going to get in trouble.
It's very weird. Have you ever had those dreams where it's like a deja vu dream?
Like fever dream?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, and then like a week later you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Oh.
And you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, wait, what? And you're just like kind of confused, but you're like, you know it. That's what it's like. And I don't know if it's just me, but usually on acid, things smell musty or dead.
Also stinky.
Rotten.
Oh.
Like, or, I mean, it could just be from an imprint from an acid trip I had a long time ago. It was around a time when my cat had gotten run over by a car, we think, and his flesh was rotting.
Oh, delicious.
And he had like goo, like pus coming out of him, and his head was swollen.
Yeah, that happens. And
he was laying down on the ground, and I took acid one night with 2 friends, and they went to sleep, and it was 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and my mother comes in, and she's crying. I'm trying to act asleep so I don't have to deal with this, and she's asking for help, and she tries to get Ray awake, but it doesn't work. And so she leaves, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna chill here for a second. So I go on the floor, and I was sitting there, and the door opens. There she is. And she says she needs help taking B to the veterinarian's office. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you need to hold him tight right next to you. And I don't know if you've ever smelt rotten flesh right against your nose.
It's the worst smell in the world.
It's fucking disgusting. It was terrible. Oh, it was really bad. It stained my nose for like hours.
I know that.
And I just couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
And like for multiple trips after that, I just always smelt that. And it was usually on the come down, which that was whenever I was on the come down, whenever that happened. I always smell that. That's always what I smell. Always something dead. And I can never have a jelly-filled donut from A1 again because I took a bite out of it after I touched that motherfucker, and all I could taste was rotten flesh. And oh God, it was so disgusting. Okay, do you have anything else to ask?
No, I think that was perfect.
Okay.
So this is the end of the show, and usually during the end of the show, I ask, is there any message you'd like to send out?
Any message? Starting research on LSD would be a great thing to look into. Definitely we should start on that. If you're looking to take acid, I'd say be prepared.
For the big boy.
For the big boy hours. Be safe. Maybe have a friend with you. If you're alone, have headphones.
Pee.
Oh yeah, pee and shit your pants before you take it, because sometimes you can you'll start peeing on acid and you just won't be able to stop. Like, it'll just keep dripping on out and you're like, why the fuck? Or like, you'll try and shit and it'll just be locked up. Or you'll try and pee and it'll be locked up. You can't do it. You feel weird. You're looking at your penis or vagina if you're a woman, and you're like, hey, that's moving, that's breathing, I don't like that. Is it alive? Does it have a hive mind? Can it talk to me? Can I communicate with it? Can you be my bro? Those are my closing statements.
Okay, today's song of the day is Mercy Street, cover by Nicole Dollanganger. No, it's not the song of the day. Thank you for listening. Bye.